Good evening. I'd like to call the City Council, City of Waterville for Monday, May 13th, 2024 to order. And I would ask Council Member Todd Borowski.
Sorry. Go ahead.
They're not going here.
Yes.
I'd like to ask Council Member Todd Borowski to lead us in the prayer, please.
Loving God, as we come together tonight for the City of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us a share of your wisdom. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And I'd ask citizen Scott Johns to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And next we'll have roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Borowski?
Here.
Mr. Garber?
Here.
Mayor Pedro?
Here.
Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Rosick?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held on Monday, April the 22nd. You all had a chance to review the minutes. I'd ask for a motion to accept the minutes from April 22nd. So moved, Tony Garver.
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All righty, we will move along. Next is citizens' comments, and I have two citizens that would like to address council. We'll start with Terry Masucci. Terry? You know the routine, name, address.
Terry Masucci, 1101 Waterville, Monclova Road, Waterville, 43566. So just real quick, I wanted to just announce the newest game that we're going to start on Wednesday. We're going to hide 5 of these a week from Blue Sky Restoration here in Waterville. They've donated 20 of these, so we'll start with 5 a week starting Wednesday. They'll be hidden different outside areas, parks, don't know where else, can't give any clues. They will be marked, so don't go to Blue Sky and ask for one of their blue balls, because they're going to be identified. Wanted to also, so that'll start Wednesday. There'll be prizes when you find them. And then we'll announce how to claim your prize once you find one of the balls on Meanwhile in Waterville, Ohio site. Quick update on the kickball game. I'm waiting to hear from Ed Price to secure a field. They're pretty much all occupied until mid to end of July, depending on weather, rain dates for the weekend, and so on. So at some point after the baseball season, we'll announce this will be the residents against city employees against businesses, and so it'll be a tournament. Winner will get bragging rights and a nifty medallion to wear every single day for 1 year. And kidding. And then an update on the downtown plantings. It's going well. We got some work to do. Part of around the flagpole is done. It's not complete yet, but it's partially done. Want to thank Scott Jans, Wayne Wagner, Sarah, forgot her last name.
Beltran.
Yes, Beltran. And for all the help that I'm getting. And 2 residents, one is actually from Perrysburg, Nella, and another one from Waterville here, Diane, who's been helping me weed and get it all prepped and ready. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much, Terry. Next is citizen Scott Johns. Scott?
Scott Johns, 1207 Applegate. And I got a couple things, two items to talk about tonight. One, I'll start with the first one, and that's, as I was driving through our downtown corridor and I come up by the new park, and I know this has been brought up before, the Columbia House is starting to look a little ragged again. And the shrubs that are around it are blocking the sidewalks. So pedestrians can't even walk around the corner there. That shrub is almost out to the light pole. And so the sidewalks are completely blocked. And my recommendation is they should be removed. They're just too big for that small space that's by the Columbia House. And make that more of a pedestrian-friendly corner where they can walk, especially with the new park coming in. So I don't know, if one of you guys can talk to the owners and see.
We'll ask our administrator to contact the property owner and look after that.
You can ask them to be trimmed, but you can't tell them they gotta pull them out.
I understand, but I'm just giving you a recommendation. They're pretty big. Secondly, the last council meeting, and I think this is gonna come up tonight in one of the readings. It has to do with the healthcare, and as a citizen, my thoughts on this are I am against carrying this through the end of the year. And reason being, it's a major cost to the city, and I know that you guys said that it was some miscommunication in our city document that led to think it was available, but then you had proof that it was 100%, that you guys, if it was offered to council, it would be at 100% their cost. And I think that after hearing all the arguments and not arguments, but all the discussion about it, there were points made that, well, I can't get on healthcare. That's false, because you can. The other point being made was we carry this through the end of the year, but yet the city already offered a compromise to go back to half a year and not going backdating and expecting council members who are on it to pay that. So my belief is, I look at it from the standpoint of cost, and let me put it in this perspective. Council is, you guys are volunteers basically. You're not employees of the city, and you're here to serve the community. And for us to expend that cost, where it could be, it's taxpayer dollars that can be applied to some broken sidewalks. Or I look at, I've been to several meetings and we talked about it with the new park, how we had to back off some cost because we couldn't afford we weren't budgeted for that. So we had to eliminate the benches, we had to eliminate some planters. Well, if I may ask John, how much was that? The total cost of that healthcare for council a year?
Well, it's, I think we budgeted for 2024, it was around $67,000, and that was for 3 individuals.
To put it in perspective, how much were we short on the completion of that park?
Well, we had to non-perform some things because it was over the estimate, so legally we have to stay within the cost estimate as a public bid. Mm-hmm. But the cost was probably about $28,000 we non-performed.
So see where I'm going with this. It's taxpayer dollars for the community. I get it. I get it that those of you who are on it, it sucks. It's going to be a heartache to have to jump into something else. But it can be done. It can be done, and my personal belief, and I'm sure many citizens would probably feel the same way, should not be extended through the end of the year. Do what we what was discussed. They already give you till July. Make that the end and move on. And that's my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
Thank you, Scott. We're gonna let you come back up. Go right ahead.
I forgot.
We know who you are, you don't have
I
to say your
forgot
name.
my pen. Can- Vital. Real quick, while Scott was talking about the look over there at the Columbian House, with what we're doing to beautify downtown, there are 37 of those planters, which is a bulk of the budget of money. I don't think we need 37 planters in a 2-block area. So I want to suggest, or maybe see what it would take to eliminate at least maybe 10 to 15 after going through those and kind of marking, because if that's allowed, when the end of the season comes after this year, when we pull those, so they should still be up during Oliver Hazard days, and I think that's the last concert. And then after that, the city, because they're bolted down, would have to power wash and fill in where they're bolted down at, but to eliminate at least 10 of them, because they just look bad. And also, there's properties, let's say in front of that Mexican restaurant where the saguaro cactus is, and the in front of their location, that's just a mess. I don't even, I offered in front of the old Carouse, in front of Thrive, if I removed the thistle as best as I could, if they would split the plants with me. I'm not even going to attack in front of the Mexican restaurant mall that's there. It's just beyond my, I don't want to. It's too much. So is there anything that the city can do? And in front of the Sunoco station, they've got 2 areas of grass that's growing pretty badly. I want the downtown to just look gorgeous and not just be a hit and miss. I've noticed next to the nutrition shop, they're also, I think they're starting to weed a little bit over there around their area. I didn't go by there today and look, but first time I looked, they didn't. Then I think they started to. But there's just so much, just little things that these businesses can do to perk up the area and to make downtown look much more gorgeous than it has been or can be. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that your ideas or recommendations are great. I think we will let the public works and the administration look at the end of the season, because obviously if there's some older ones, maybe we don't replace them. I'll tell you right now, I'm not in favor of eliminating them. I think if they were 37, there was a reason why there's 37. So let's get through the season. And secondly, with your team and others that are helping out, I think it's catching on. I think citizens and businesses are taking hold. So these things take time, and but nevertheless, we could work towards those. So thank you. All right, we will move on to staff reports. Our administrator, John Golkenauer.
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. Wanted to mention a few items. If you noticed when you came to the meeting tonight, we have some equipment in the alley. So we're starting the water line replacement in the alley, and I would have liked that they got a little more progress today, but they should be working on that this week. So we met with the businesses and told them what the schedule was, and seems to be some good buy-in from the businesses. And we also talked to the particular businesses that we're going to have to shut off when we put in the new water line and then turn them on, and so they're aware of that. So that's going on this week. Another couple things. The Public Works Director is on vacation, but I just wanted to mention that we did complete our citywide hydrant flushing program, and I guess it's a good thing. We only found 3 hydrants that need to be replaced, so we will be replacing those within the next couple weeks. We also have to paint a number of the fire hydrants, so we we have a number on that, so we're gonna start painting the fire hydrants. But other than the 3 that we have to replace, I thought that was a lot better than I expected. And then lastly, I did meet with the county engineer and ODOT about the roundabout at Dutch Road and the Anthony Wayne Trail. So that intersection, 3 out of the 4 corners are in the city. So that is a project that is in the majority is in the city. So the construction cost right now is estimated to be $1,043,000. The construction is scheduled for 2028. I did mention to the engineer that I think council would want to have a say in the landscaping, and they said that that would be fine. They seem to be very receptive to that, and the city's water lines and things are in the area, so you know, we could run one of our water lines out into the middle of the roundabout. We could landscape it, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So that's a discussion that we'll have with the county, and more than likely we'll be asked to pay about 10% of the cost, which, you know, we can have a say on what it looks like and have some input on the design. So again, that's quite a ways in the future, but 2028 is the date on that one. So if council has any questions for me.
We'll start with Vice Mayor Duncan.
No questions tonight.
Todd?
No questions, John, thanks.
Anthony?
No questions.
Wayne? John Rozick?
Thank you, Mayor. No, thanks for the report, John.
Anthony? I have nothing to add. All righty. We'll move on to our Law Director, Phil Dombey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, on the plowman suit now, it's at the Court of Appeals. All briefs are in. Unfortunately, the appellant has requested oral argument. I'm not sure they're going to grant it, but that will delay this more.
Say that again. They asked for a
Oral argument.
excuse me. Okay.
Yeah. Court of Appeals is trying to cut down on the oral arguments if they can. If you can't say it in your brief after trying the case and going through all that, I'm not sure what oral argument would add, but a lot of people like to go and talk. So that's where it is.
If there is an oral discussion, is that next week, next year? Your guess.
Whatever the court decides.
Okay. Any questions for Law Director?
Are you allowed to update us on the clean wood?
Well, I could update you if I had any idea, but I don't.
All right.
They're going to go away because they didn't have a case, but
Okay.
he is an ornery individual who I'm told
So
sues
it's-
everybody.
So it's still lingering.
It apparently is.
Okay.
All right, we will move on to our Finance Director. No report. Treasurer? All right, thank you. Let's go with our Police Chief, Joe Galvano.
We know he had a report. Jeez, that thing was big. Ink we wasted.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Should have a copy of my report, annual report. Couple things to add, drug take back, we netted 27 pounds. That's a record for us. White House did not participate, I think Monclova Fire Department did not participate, so we're kind of the anchor of the Anthony Wayne area. Safety City, July 15th through the 19th, filling up, not full yet. I think June 1st, we're gonna open it up to all Anthony Wayne residents. National Peace Officers Memorial, May 15th, we're in, I guess, Memorial Week, May 12th through the 18th. And Bike to School, May 16th, 8 a.m. Prairie Trail Park. That's all I got.
Questions for the Chief? Starting with Anthony Bruno. John Rozick.
I just wanted to compliment the chief on the annual report that we all received. Really terrific. Good to see all the activities, Chief. And I did want to just mention your core values, our core values. I think those core values could be everybody's core values in the city, on council, all of our employees, everybody. They're really spot on, terrific. So thank you.
I'm assuming you'll have the golf cart at the bike
We
school
will.
event? Yeah.
Yep.
And The report was great. Congratulations on 30 years.
Thanks.
He started when he was
12.
12. All right, moving, anything else, Wayne?
Nope, okay.
Tony?
Yeah, just a couple things. Certainly a fantastic report, and I'm sure a lot of this stuff you have to file through the federal regulations. I noticed we had assaults. We had a really big jump. Is there a certain area that assaults are happening, or is this kind of all over town?
No, I tried to pinpoint what's causing them. Dispatch could put them in differently. If there's a different dispatcher that some will do like a domestic, others will do assault. I wish I could. We could go back and review reports, pinpoint it. If it continues, it'll be a huge spread.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed that we had quite our traffic stops were a lot less in 23 compared to 22. Is that because of the amount of patrolmen that we had?
We've got more motivated patrolmen that we've hired. Some enjoy working traffic.
Okay.
We went from some older officers on the department to now we have fairly young officers that enjoy it, so that's what brought those stats up. More officers also.
So we'll probably see a jump in 2024 in
We
these
will.
traffic stops. Excellent. Thanks, Chief, for the hard work.
Thank you.
Next, Todd?
I'll ditto what everyone else said. The annual report was great, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
And Mary?
Nothing. Thank you.
Just thank you, and the only comment I have actually for both you and John, or Public Works, a citizen called me, the pathway between the school drive over to the neighborhood, there's some lights that are out there, and there's 4 or 5 of them, I think there are two of them that are out. If you could check into that, please.
I will.
And then lastly, while you're here, Joe, just today in the Blade, I mean, I know that you don't believe everything you read in the Blade, right, Karen? Just most of it. But over the last several years, council has been talking about, with the chief, about recruiting for police and fire and other safety officers. But it was interesting that the article in today's newspaper quoted the chief of Toledo on how the recruits are down significantly, just like you're experiencing. So, and I know John and Joe strategize on different recruiting techniques, and we've got some new officers starting in a few weeks. We'll have them in front of council when that time comes. But I thought that was just interesting that they highlighted this in today's newspaper. With that, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Next is our fire chief, Doug Myers.
Evening, Mayor and Council. You have a copy of my report. Just to give you a brief update, we have 4 new candidates in process. They're in for health and background right now. We'll be participating in bike to school as well. We were invited by PD, so we have some firefighters that are excited about that. And then lastly, to give you a heads up, you're going to see a lot of activity around the house on State Route 64 across from Rite Aid. Those of you that are familiar with this town, it's an old shoemaker property, if you're familiar with them. State Fire School has taken that property. State Fire School is this week. We were out there today looking at the house. They will be out there doing a lot of work. There's a gentleman, he's an internationally known instructor from New York Fire Department here doing that house, so it's the most attended class in Bowling Green. So you will see us out there probably Tuesday afternoon, probably Wednesday, give or take. They're not sure how the class is going to run, but if you see people out there, you see big rigs and a lot of people around there, they are doing training for State Fire School, and it's an instructor from New York that flew in. So we'll be accommodating that, and we'll be going from there. So.
Any questions for the chief, starting with Mary Duncan?
I think it's great Shoemaker gave you the house to use as training.
It's awesome.
I think
We don't
that's-
get them that often.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's all I have.
No, that is great, Doug. Should we post that on the website, maybe on the Waterville website or police website?
Yeah, I
there
mean,
is
we'll,
training?
we'll probably put something on Facebook when they actually start. They're anticipating Tuesday, but they don't know. It could be
Okay.
Wednesday, it could be Thursday. Like, so we're trying to wait till they
Actually
figure
show
out
up.
exactly what they're
Yeah,
doing.
just
They
get
have
the
2
word out.
houses, so they have 1 in Toledo as well.
Beautiful. All right, thanks.
Nothing, sir.
Wait,
All good.
John,
You're not burning the house, are you? You're just using
No,
it?
not yet. This is just used for training right now. State Fire School has it. It's their house. We haven't signed any contracts. So, Carrie Fritz with State Fire School has the house, so
That's so
it's theirs. They're not burning it right now.
Not yet.
There's ideas that we may try later on to get rid of it through live fire evolutions, but we're a little ways off from that at the moment.
Good, thanks, Doug.
Can I? Doug,
Yes, sir.
so if we do get the house, and we being the fire department, can we correspond?
can you talk in the microphone?
Can we correspond with the police department to also use it as training? Or would that
Like, what do you mean?
for like a, like a barricaded person, can we somehow coordinate the efforts before, if down the road it does get burned?
Sure. I
to
mean,
use
if
as a
they,
training
if,
session.
if it's something that they want, we're not burning it. I mean, once we start burning in it,
Right, yeah, once it
Yeah.
starts burning, we can't.
yeah, there's things we have to do. We have to modify the structure to accommodate, and once we
Yeah.
modify the structure,
I just think it'd be a great opportunity for the police department to be able to jump in, maybe before you, and
yeah, I mean, after State Fire School is
Yep.
done, I will say that we can help them. Maybe we can find windows or something, but there will be no windows or doors left in it
Right.
when they're done. So
Okay.
they'll rip everything off when they're in there.
gotcha.
So, I mean, it'll be wide open.
Okay. That's it.
Alrighty,
Doug.
thanks, Doug. And as mentioned, our Public Works Director is not available tonight, so we'll move on to communications from council members. And we'll start with Mr. Tony Garber.
No report, sir.
Todd Borowski?
Just a roundabout update. Talked to Nancy about planting the plants. We're gonna do that at the end of the month. We're gonna meet Thursday to actually mark off the areas. I'll get some volunteers to kind of move some rocks around, and then towards the end of the month, we should get a delivery from North Branch. We picked up Black Diamond, and Nature's Corner. We picked up those plants already. So that's it.
We'll move on to Wayne.
Terry has been hard at work, really hard at work getting those downtown beds cleaned up, and it's amazing seeing people, a lady from Perrysburg, come in and clean up our beds. So if there's anybody out there that can help, we obviously could use a lot of help to get it cleaned, and I do think that the more we do down there, that the shop owners will see it and start maybe taking better care of it themselves. I wanted to address Scott Johns' comments up here. I'm in agreement with you. It should end in July. I think we'll
Wayne,
have a
and
vote.
Wayne, you gotta talk in the microphone.
We will have a vote at the next meeting, and I don't think there'll be anybody going against it at that point, so. But just to clarify the healthcare to the parks budget, the city wasn't legally allowed to spend anymore. It's not that we didn't have the money, and I think we are doing a couple of those things, correct, John, like benches later next year or something?
Right.
It's just we couldn't spend anymore by law, we couldn't spend anymore, so, that's it for me.
Alrighty. John Rozick?
Just a couple things, Mayor. We postponed the fire co-op meeting, was scheduled for April, pending, hopefully, maybe a final resolution of the ALS issue with the county. So we should be meeting, I think, in June, John, right? Maybe we'll have the details by then. And then I just had a question, John. I assume everybody received the water connection survey, cross connection survey. So I wonder if you had any calls. I didn't find it particularly clear what we were doing here, but
Well, we did. The EPA wants us to try to find out if there's cross connections or lead service lines, things like that, and I think we already know where the lead service lines are. We have a good idea. They're in the downtown area. If there are any left, the older parts of town, but, you know, make people aware of cross connections like irrigation systems and things that backfeed into the house, water system, and we can show the EPA, that's a requirement for the EPA, that we send out a survey based on that, I guess, format, and we have to provide evidence to them. We sent out this to the customers in Waterville, and was sent out on this date, and, you know, share any interesting comments that we have with the EPA, and so that's why we did what we did, so.
I know you didn't just dream this up. I knew there was a reason that,
Right.
that we were doing this. So just maybe to explain, and if I'm the only one in the city that doesn't know how to do this, I apologize. But how do you know if you have a service line that is lead, galvanized, copper, or plastic?
Well, I think if you would happen to know that it is, you would tell us. Otherwise, you have to dig it up, or if it fails, then we figure, you know, we will know what it is if it fails. But yeah, and that's the thing, you know, the EPA asks you to find these, well, unless you know where they are. And if we know where they are, we're gonna ask you to replace it because it's lead, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But if it fails and you dig it up and we find out that it's lead, then you have to replace it. But if someone would say, well, yeah, I have a lead service line, and like I said, I don't know that they would know that, but if they would, they could put it down on the survey. But more than likely, it's when they fail, then we figure out, well, this is and then we, you know, a contractor comes and redoes their line from the street to the house, and they look at the tap or whatever, and it's lead or something like that, or it's,
So they wouldn't know just by living there?
But I guess if they happen to know, or they could
Okay.
volunteer that
All right,
information.
okay, just to be
So,
clear, yeah,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave that part blank.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Anthony?
Just wanted to let everyone know that our Parks and Rec Community Day is on June 1st at 8 a.m. at Bear Park. So,
At Bear Park?
Bear Park Shelter House.
Okay.
Painting?
Yes. And then we'll be doing painting as well as plant some perennials around the flagpoles or pole. So
Anything else?
that's it.
I just wanted to mention, this came in the Mirror last week before. The Maumee Senior Center is going to be providing grab-and-go meals for citizens of Waterville that are over 60 years old. These are hot meals. There is no income requirement. You just have to sign up. If you haven't signed up already and need the information, it will be on Meanwhile in Waterville, and we'll put it on the website here. The second sign-up is May 15th from 10 a.m. to noon, so it's kind of a short window that you have to sign up. If you are unable to go pick up your meals, please still sign up and let me know. We have a group of volunteers that will deliver meals to people who cannot get out and get the meal themselves. The meals are actually going to be available at 12:45 on Mondays and Fridays. So they'll be delivered from the Maumee Senior Center out to our library. Pull in the back of the library, you can pick up a meal, or I will have some volunteers that will deliver meals if you are unable to pick it up yourself. If you have any questions, there's a phone number, 419-893-1994. I know that some people have already signed up. I've asked some of the people that I'm aware of that need help with delivery, and they're very excited about the program. So if you are interested in something like that, please sign up. That's all I have.
Good.
How long does that program, is that
It starts on May 17th, and I think they'll bring them out as long as there's
indefinitely?
people signing up for them.
Good.
Anything else, Mary?
That's it.
I have a couple things, some we've already touched on at the cemetery district meeting, but I want to remind the citizens of Waterville that on May 27th, Memorial Day, there's going to be a program at 10 o'clock in White House for the Veterans Memorial Park, where we will honor our veterans in that community. And then at 11 o'clock at Wakeman Cemetery here in Waterville, we'll have a similar program. And as in the past, it's a very well-organized event. The Anthony Wayne School Band will be there, Honor Guard, Boy Scout troops from Waterville 101, Cub Scout Pack 384, Christine Young, who's the Anthony Wayne teacher, and she is working on the Purple Star Schools Leader, which the Anthony Wayne District has been underway for a couple of years, and then several community leaders. So once again, I would invite you to take time to be at Memorial Park in White House at 10 o'clock, and here in Waterville at 11 o'clock at Wakeman Cemetery. And it's a very well attended event and very well organized. Also, you've heard me a meeting or two back. I'm working with a citizen in the community, Haley Voigt. She's a mom in the community. She called me a while back. She's got some ideas to establish some playground equipment for persons with disabilities, an inclusion program. So I will be setting up an ad hoc committee, and then from that committee we'll go to Parks and Recreation. But Haley's already off to a good start. She's got an architect that is involved in these kinds of programs, already willing to help. There's a couple corporations that have mentioned their interest. I share this with you now because I want you to know this thing is coming down the road, and later on be more details explained. But a lot of ideas on the table, a lot of thoughts to have this program in place. It'll take time, probably 6 months, 9 months, even a year to get it all put together, but I think we've got the horsepower to do so. And then I may have mentioned, or I may not have mentioned, but John Golkenauer and I met with the Metro Parks engineering staff a couple weeks ago with some business leaders. It was just an opportunity to open up the lines of communication for some joint planning, and that's, again, in the infancy stages. More information will follow on that. Also, we know that the Land Use Plan Committee has been up and running. Thanks to the citizens have taken time to fill out that survey. We would encourage those that haven't had a chance to do so to please complete that. It's an opportunity to be heard from a very, very broad perspective of our community, all the way from downtown plans to businesses, to residents, to recreational facilities, police, fire, public works, you name it. So please take time to locate that survey. They're here at the town hall. You can get it online as well. And take time to be recognized and be heard in our community. We do this roughly every 10 years. It's been about 12 years now. So it's time to reorganize that plan. And that's all I have. All right, next is old business, ordinance number 324, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit for a residential use in a commercial zone district for a property located at 104 South 3rd Street, Zone C2, Downtown Commercial District. The first reading was held on April the 8th. The second reading was scheduled for April 22nd. And the third reading and public hearing and administrative action is scheduled for tonight, May 13th. So I know the applicant is not here, but I'll ask John to make some comments, and then we'll open up the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. The Planning Commission did meet on April 1st, 2024, and they recommended to council that the conditional use permit be approved to allow the structure and parcel located at 104 South 3rd Street to be utilized as a single-family owner-occupied residence.
Council, any questions for the administrator? Okay, we're going to open up the public hearing, are we? I am opening up a public hearing for ordinance number 0324. If there's any citizens here who would like to make comments, you're welcome to do so now. just closed the public hearing for ordinance number 0324. So I need a motion to move on ordinance number 0324.
So moved?
So moved, Mary Doug.
Second.
Need a second, Todd Borowski. Any more discussion? The only thing I'll add is the applicant did call me and had to be out of town for another event, and he was appreciative of the council's comments and questions at the last few meetings, John Spilker, and I'm sure he will follow through with his plans. So there's a motion, a second on the table. Roll call?
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rozick?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
All right, we'll move on. Next is ordinance number 0524, an ordinance amending the ordinance 0418 pursuant to Charter Section 5.02, adopting personnel rules, amending Section 5.13, the A1 of Waterville Personnel Policy and Procedural Manual, and declaring an emergency. This was read at the last council meeting. It did not pass as an emergency level. So it was read on April 22nd. We're reading it again tonight, May 13th. And a third reading is scheduled, legislative action scheduled for June 10th. John, did you want to add anything to that?
Mayor, I wanted to mention that the effective date of the ordinance is, or for the healthcare eligibility to end would be July 1st, so that would mean that that coverage is extended through the end of the month. So that would be through the end of July.
Okay. Council, any questions? All right, we'll take this up on June 10th. Next is some new business. Ordinance number 0624, an ordinance amending the ordinance 1323, the fiscal year 2024 annual appropriation and declaring an emergency. John, would you expand on that, please?
Thank you, Mayor. We have our first amendment to the 2024 appropriation. Just some items fairly significant. We have some additional expenses for fire vehicle maintenance and fire equipment maintenance. We have some increase in our bank fees, and then we also have an issue on the agenda with the 2024 shared use path project that came in a little bit above the cost estimate, so we put added a amendment to the budget to add for that project, which came in a little higher than we expected.
Okay.
Okay, I move that the rules be suspended to allow for the passage of ordinance number 1323 as an emergency measure. Need a second?
Second?
Any more discussion? Voice vote?
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Rozick?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
All right, now that I move for ordinance number 023, I need a motion.
So moved?
Second.
That was John Rosick, thank you. Any more discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
The bank service fees are at $14,000. That seems excessive.
Well, that also includes costs from our investments, so we have to put those in there as well. So when we have an investment that comes due, we do CDs, so we buy it at a cost, and then we have to carry that along, and then when it comes due, if we bought it at a premium, and the way the economy was, the interest rates were low, so we paid a little extra for a little extra interest, and then we got to carry that along, and then when it comes due, when it matures, we have to book it on our books.
Thank you.
All right, so there's a motion on the table. Roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rozick?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Next is Resolution 1424, a resolution amending Resolution 0924, authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into an agreement with Lucas County regarding the provisions of a countywide advanced life support emergency medical services in Lucas County, Ohio. John, would you give us some more background?
Thank you, Mayor. I mentioned at a prior council meeting that, due to the city of Maumee's decision not to participate in this new agreement, that at some point council would get a revised agreement of the ALS agreement that you approved at the March 11th, 2024 council meeting. So there's a red line copy that kind of indicates the proposed changes. They're relatively minor. If you look through the document, you'll notice that the major change is that the city of Maumee is stricken out in the agreement. All participating entities receive their first payment no later than December 31st, 2024. So when we looked at the original agreement, there was some concern, the city wasn't going to be paid until next April, which would have been 2025. So council approved an MOU with the original agreement, and they actually took that and put it into the main agreement. So just to acknowledge that that was an issue and that they would make sure everyone was paid in the first year before the end of 2024. The final distribution of county EMS assets is going to be delayed from September to November 30th, 2024. The effective date of the revised agreement is now August 5th. That was June 3rd. And then the effective date to give notice has also been moved to August 2nd, 2027 instead of June 2nd, 2027. And then there is a section that they added, severability section, which, part of it is found not to be legal, then the rest of it is carries forward. So there are some, some essentially minor changes that they made to the agreement, and being that council is not meeting before June 10th, I felt that we should put it on the agenda for you to take a look at.
I'll make some comments. At the last council meeting, I did have some questions, and I know I talked to a few council members in the interim. So you've answered my questions, though. It's going to be effective August the 5th. Obviously, sooner than later to sign it. But if we were to hold this off until June 10th, we're still going to have fire service, rescue service. I would suggest to council, but I'd like you to chime in, that we invite a representative from the county to come and provide feedback to council. I know there's been some questions, and John, you've answered most of them, but I think in all due respect, it would be good for council to hear directly from the Lucas County. So, council, I'll open it up, comments or questions?
A couple. I don't want to be the first because I'm not at either end here, Mayor, but I can start if you want. John, I didn't see that they reallocated the Maumee $402,000, and I wonder if that's still to take place, or is that just absorbed by the county and nobody else gets it?
Well, they are going to reallocate that to Springfield Township, and they are more than likely going to add another unit, so they have to staff that unit, but that's an agreement that they are making with Springfield Township. And part of that is that if Maumee would decide to rejoin, then that would end, and then Maumee would be allocated that money. But how it's moving forward is that Springfield Township is agreeing to take on that extra unit and staff, and so they would allocate that to the Springfield Township. And if Maumee would decide in a year or two they want to get back in, then they would end that agreement, that MOU with Springfield, and they would reallocate the money to Maumee.
And so they're not increasing our coverage area at all?
No, we actually, our part of this hasn't really changed at all. We're still going to serve the same area that we served before, and
Secondly, Mayor, and John, I'd like to, if Doug Meyer, Chief Meyer agrees, we should maybe let the co-op discuss this first before, and make a recommendation to council from the fire co-op.
All right, so,
Hang on.
rest of the council have comments, otherwise we're gonna ask for a motion to table this, but Anthony?
Should Doug go up?
Wayne?
I had a lot of the same questions. And in my mind, I know Doug, we are gonna have 4 units combined. Did the county say we were doing 4 units? Did the county say we were only gonna do, because we're gonna make our 2 units ALS, White House is gonna make their 2 units ALS. I'm thinking we're getting 802,000 as a co-op together, and now we're, for 1, now we're having 4. Common
So-
math says we should get 32, but that ain't gonna.
So,
or
so you're
2.2.
mixing, you're mixing a little bit of, you're mixing operations with the contract.
Okay.
So, the way the contract is written is to give the municipalities the operational level and be able to handle ALS on their own. That's why it's written the way that it is.
Okay.
So, basically, they're just saying run ALS. That's up to the chiefs of the departments to figure out how we're gonna do that. I worked extensively with Mr. Gokenauer, on how we're going to do that, what we're going to do, and how we're going to meet those requirements. Nothing has really changed, from our standpoint as the co-op. White House, is really ready to go, so is the co-op. I really think that we need to push forward. In my professional opinion, we should be pushing forward even tonight to get this through.
So it's your recommendation that we
Yeah.
vote tonight, and even if we have a representative from the county come to answer questions, at least we've already approved
The plan,
so
yes.
that the county can move forward?
Yes, because if we hold it up, it just drags the whole incident out, and we're ready. We've already distributed equipment. We're like
You're good to go.
moving forward, and we got some pretty good equipment, so we make a lot of those waves, and yeah.
Council? Todd?
I'm good.
Anthony?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Chief, for that. That was much needed. Thank you.
Mary, I cut you off.
No, it's okay, I'm ready to vote. I mean, I think we can have a representative come and talk to us in June if they're available, but I don't wanna hold this up. It doesn't make good sense, it sounds like from Doug and, from others that I've spoken to hold off, when there's really minor changes for us.
All right. Anyone else? So, I made the suggestion that we table it. I heard from council, so I guess if someone wants to, make a motion, they're welcome to do so.
So moved.
So moved. Todd Borowski, need a second?
Is this the motion to table or the motion to pass the resolution?
Pass it.
Pass it is what I.
I was insinuating passing it, but, yes, let me restate that. I make a motion that we table resolution 1424 until June 10th.
Second.
Second, John Rosick. Voice vote,
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Rosick?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mayor Pedro?
yes.
Mr. Garber?
Is this the vote to table it? or
Table
is-
it, to table it.
No.
Mr. Browski?
No.
Mrs. Duncan?
No,
Can we revote? I thought that was the vote to table, or not
Pass.
table it. Pass it, yeah.
Law Director, I call on your guidance.
Yes, on a mistake, you can go back
Okay,
and
let's-
revisit.
redo it.
All right, so
Lack of clarity.
I'll restate the motion. I move on resolution 1424, resolution to be tabled until June 10th, 2024. Need a second?
I'll second it again.
John Rosick. Any more discussion? Voice vote.
Mrs. Duncan?
No,
Mr. Browski?
No.
Mr. Garber?
No.
Mayor Pedro?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rosick?
And with all due respect to Chief Meyer, yes.
Mr. Bruno?
No.
So if I did the tally, the resolution did not pass to table it. All right, I'm good with that. Now I needed a motion to pass resolution 14 2024.
So moved.
So moved, Tony Garver. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. Any more discussion? The only thing I would say is I'll take Mary Duncan's recommendation. I would like to just open up the dialogue with the county, and I would like to have more information so that we could act as best we can with our citizens' best interest. So that's all I have. So we got a
So-
motion. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, Tim, I was all for tabling it until Doug came up, and, you know, while on council, I've always depended on our subject matter experts to give me sound advice, and when I got that advice from, you know, our chief, it gave me the confidence to not table it, so.
Okay, that's fair, that's why we're routine. All right. So it's been moved and seconded, need a voice vote?
Mrs. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Borowski?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
I'm gonna vote yes, as I said before, I didn't vote yes, but I'm going to vote yes, that, we need to be, very vigilant going forward, because this contract, could end in 3 years. There was, question about the funding, the 21 million plus or minus that, was, collected, and at one time, again, that's why I wanted the county here, I want them to flush these out, but I was told there was about 75% of those dollars went to the operations. I did get feedback earlier today on how that's all spread out, but nevertheless, this council and the next mayor, needs to look at in 3 or 4 years, there could be no funding, and that's why I wanted to have, that, conversation. So with that being said, I'll vote yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Rozak?
Well, like Mr. Borowski, I'm going to defer again to our fire chief. And although I'd love to hear from the county before we did anything, I'm sure Chief Meyer, excuse me, is well aware of the issues. So, yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
All right, we will move on. Next is resolution 1524, a resolution approving the 2024 final plan for the operation of 911 emergency service in Lucas County. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is I guess a relatively new item. The state legislature passed House Bill 33, which amended Chapter 128 of the Ohio Revised Code. So it now requires each county in the state of Ohio to essentially review and/or update their final plan for the 911 emergency services in each county, and as part of that, each county has to convene a 911 program review committee, and Lucas County did that, and they recommended the plan that was included in your council packet, and as a part of this new legislation at the state level, each community in the 911 service area has to review it and approve or disapprove. If you looked at what was submitted by the county to the city, it's essentially a checklist of section 12807 of the revised code. So they go through and they say, well, we're meeting this, we're meeting this, we're meeting this. So it's kind of cryptic in its presentation, and maybe they could have did that a little better, but essentially they've reviewed that, and they're submitting it to council for your review. I don't have any issues with it. I think that's the way the plan is presented, and you know, we have an RCOG, we have a regional council of governments that manages the 911 system, and you know, they're involved with this. Next year, this year they had Chief Sheriff Navarre was on the committee, the 911 program review committee, but next year it'll be the mayor of Holland, and he is a member of the RCOG, so he'll be looking at that. So that's kind of what this is and what it's about.
So I need a motion to move on resolution 1624.
So moved?
Moved Mary Duncan, need a second?
Second.
Second, John Rozak. Any more discussion?
Just, John, are there any allocation of funds with this agreement?
No.
Just wanted to be sure, that's.
Right, right.
All right, we need a voice vote.
It's,
You ready? You don't need to take a roll call vote on the resolution.
Oh, pardon me.
Or voice, yeah. Voice.
Yeah, right. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, next is Resolution 1624, authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Southeastern Equipment Company for the purchase of a 2024 Case 588 backhoe tractor for Public Works Department. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that was approved in the 2024 appropriation ordinance, so we're trading in our old backhoe for a new backhoe, and the trade-in value is $22,000, so the final purchase price is $107,927.60. And this is with Southeastern Equipment, and they have a location in Perrysburg, Ohio.
Any motion for Resolution 1624?
So moved.
So moved. Wayne Wagner, need a second?
Second.
Second, John Rozak. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Thank you. Next is Resolution 1724, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Infratech Solutions LLC for the purchase of sewer camera equipment for the Public Works Department. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is also an item that was included in the 2024 appropriation ordinance. We're replacing our existing sewer equipment with a S200C sewer camera system from Infotech Solutions of Wilmington, North Carolina, and the price is $56,500.
All right, need a motion for Resolution 1724.
So moved.
So moved, Todd Borowski. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Anthony Garver. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is Resolution 1824, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Howell Rescue Systems, Inc. for the purchase of hydraulic rescue equipment for the fire department. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is also another item that was included in the 2024 appropriation ordinance that was adopted by council. So this is replacing our existing hydraulic rescue equipment with the Howell Rescue Systems of Dayton, Ohio, and the purchase price is $66,995.
Get a motion for Resolution 1824.
So moved?
So moved, Mary Duncan. Need a
Second.
Second, Todd Borowski. Any more discussion?
John,
Oh,
go ahead.
No, no.
John, you said this is replacing it. Is there any value in the old one, or is it kind of got its life expectancy?
I believe
get
we're
rid of it?
trading that in.
Okay.
We did trade it in, that's what.
That's the final. Perfect. Okay.
How often do you have to use that, or have you used it often?
So we don't use them, probably should.
Thankfully, you don't use it that often, right?
Yeah.
We don't use them often. It's one of those things, though, when you need them, you need them.
Sure.
This is to upgrade from the set that we have now, cuts F3 steel. The one that we're upgrading to is F7, which is the current in cars. So we're keeping up with new technology and those things so that we don't lag too far behind.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good price on those too because we were returning customers. The idea we're trading those in. They're Genesis to Genesis. We're in under budget, according to the way that was, and they held that price in the 5-year capital. So
How many?
it's a complete set. So it's a spreader, a cutter, a ram, and a combi tool, as they call it. So it's a spreader cutter combination.
So now we just need a donated car to try it on.
We we already cut one apart behind us, but I mean, I'm sure we'll find more, yes. We will get tools.
Doug, are you saying the new cutter, the steel today is stronger from the steel of yesterday?
The steel of when we bought those, yes, to now is stronger, yes, and it doesn't seem that way because cars are meant to crumple.
Yeah.
But
Lighter.
they're meant to crumple to an extent and then stop. So the steel is stronger, lighter weight. You know, titanium has changed. They use a lot of boron steel, which is really, really hard.
I see.
If I was stuck in my car, I would want you to have it.
Is there training, Doug? Does the price include training, or is it?
It's the new tools are pretty well the same as what we're trading in. In fact, another reason we got that price is the batteries from our old tools all work on the new ones, so we didn't have to buy new chargers, we didn't have to buy new batteries, we didn't have to buy new holders. All that stuff is changeable. The difference is that the tools are just stronger, so the crews already know how to use them. They operate the same way. There's just bigger pumps on them pretty much and some better quality hydraulics, but we're trying to stay consistent to cut the cost down and still stay with current tools.
Nice. Thank you.
Alrighty. So I need a motion to move on resolution 1824.
So moved.
So moved. Anthony Garber, I need a second.
You already got
Already
it.
did
We're
this.
we're to the vote.
Already
Mary.
did
All right, great. I'm ahead of
Mary and
myself.
Todd did that.
All right. It's been a long day. So we need all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is resolution 1924, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Henry W. Bergman, Inc. for the 2024 Shared Use Path Improvement Project. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution that authorizes a contract with Henry W. Bergman of Genoa, Ohio for our 2024 Shared Use Path Improvement Project. The cost is $558,597.30. We had a bid opening on April 17th, and we had 2 competitive bids. Bergman's was the lowest. It did come in about 9% over the engineer's estimate, and that was $510,000. So we added some additional appropriation to the budget amendment to cover that. But Bergman has done work in the city before, so we are familiar with them, and we would recommend moving forward with this project. We also received a grant for $396,000 to offset the cost of the project.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, I need a motion to accept resolution 1924.
So moved?
All right, Duncan, I need a second. Second, Todd Borowski. Any more discussion?
Just got the shared use path for this project, John, where is it?
So we're filling in all the gaps in the shared use path system, I guess. So we'll be taking the path from Mechanic along the trail up to Canal. There's a small section from Farnsworth to South Street that we have to do, and then there's a portion from Waterville, Neapolis, along Waterville, Monclova, up to Michigan 64. So that's the other section that we'll be doing. So there's actually over a mile of shared use path. So there's about 6,600 feet, I believe. So we'll make it so the only portion you can pretty much go around the entire city on the shared use path, except for Dutch Road, which part of that isn't in the city. So we have to work with the county engineer, and we've already mentioned that we want to tie in the shared use path to the roundabout and, not get people killed trying to cross.
Yeah.
So that's also part of the discussion there, so.
And when would the construction start then?
Hopefully, June, July, so, yeah.
All right, good.
Get moving on that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded for resolution 1924. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next is resolution 2024. A resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Geddes Paving and Excavating, Inc. for the 2024 city paving program. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution awarding a contract to Geddes Paving of Toledo for our 2024 city paving program. So this year we're working on Freedom Lane between Cedar and Sycamore Lanes, Lexington Avenue, and then the alley behind the building here between Mechanic and Farnsworth. And part of our project every year is that we put rejuvenating agent down on the roads that we paved the previous year. So that's Independence Drive, Patriot Drive, East and West, Farm View Drive between Waterville, Montclova, and Buckeye, Mount Vernon Drive, and then Mount Vernon Court. So we got 3 bids, and the lowest bidder was Geddes, and they came in at $225,395.64. So that was right at the engineer's estimate on that one.
Good. Okay. I need a motion to pass or to bring up resolution 2024.
So moved.
So moved. Wayne Wagner, need a second.
Second.
Second, John Rozick. Any more conversation, discussion? All those in favor?
John, have we used Geddes before paving in Toledo?
Yeah, they actually did the intersection project that we did
Right
at
here.
the trail and Farnsworth, and they
Okay.
put in the shared use path, and so.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alrighty, we are on to the last agenda item, other information or unscheduled business. I have one item, but I'll go around the room with Anthony Bruno,
Nothing to add?
John Rosen,
Nope, not tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Wayne.
I did have one thing for Kenny, but he's not here. There's a citizen that has some Japanese knotweed issues in the alley between 4th and 5th, John, and you can't just pick the stuff up and take it to the brush pile, because it'll grow in the brush pile and turn into mulch and then come back. So I picked as much of it up as I could and hauled it to the Wood County landfill, put it in their dumpster. You know, the neighbors don't really want it sprayed. They just want it to magically disappear. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but it's an issue, and it was cut down. The Public Works guys cut it down at 14 feet tall. 3 weeks later, it was back up to 7 feet tall. That's the size of the shoots I hauled off today. It's not much of an alley, it's just grass, but if you can somehow add that to your notes, maybe with Wes and Kenny and the guys, and see if we can.
Kenny's plan was to spray it, so we have a contractor lined up to
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
You know, they're licensed, and you know, we'll take care of the dead stuff when it dies, and.
Perfect.
But he lined that up.
Good, perfect.
And I'm sorry, Wayne, where was that?
That's in the alley. I call it an alley, but you can't drive down. It's between 4th and 5th. So if you go down, you're gonna lose me on the street, but if you go down past the old church and
Oh.
turn right at that road.
Mechanic,
Is that Mechanic there? Oh.
yes, mechanic goes all the way up the hill.
So there's an alley a grass alley between 4th and 5th, and it's all overgrown, but it's just grass.
Yeah, the other place where we have quite a bit of thistle is at the end of Water Street. And I think Kenny knows about that one.
Right, and the same contractors.
Doing them both.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Right, anybody else? I've got one item. Tony?
No, sir. No.
No?
So just a reminder, we talked about this a couple meetings back, but Lisa Exner and her committee does a fine job in the city. Eats and Beats food truck Tuesday dates, June 11th, July 9th, and August the 13th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. So Conrad Park, come out for some fun activities, lots of children's activities, fun music, and a great way to kick off the summer. And a belated Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in our community. With that, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Tony Garber, need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Thank you.